Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into some material you shared, focusing on, well, the tough reality of entrepreneurship.
That's right. We're looking at why failure rates are so high.
Yeah, the source is from a YouTube transcript originally titled something like Why 90% of Entrepreneurs Fail and How to Avoid It.
And our mission here is really to sift through this, pull out the core insights for you, the big hurdles, and the strategies suggested to overcome them.
Okay, let's get into it. The source doesn't really pull any punches. It says right away, entrepreneurship is demanding.
Extremely demanding.
Yeah.
Requires a lot of determination and resilience.
And a willingness to accept risk. Right. It's definitely not painted as, a casual pursuit.
Not at all. And the source singles out one massive obstacle above all others.
Which is?
Uncertainty. It describes it as this constant companion. It sort of defines the whole journey.
Okay, so not just market ups and downs.
No, it's deeper. It's the constant stress, the second guessing your decisions, the risk to your finances, your personal life. The source really hits on the weight of that unknown.
Right, but then it offers something like a secret.
Yeah, kind of. It says you can't actually eliminate the uncertainty. That's the core idea. It's just there.
So you accept it.
You accept it's part of the deal. The control isn't over the external stuff. It's over your mindset, your response.
Uh-huh. And it suggests using uncertainty as fuel. How does that work?
Well, it links directly to how you view failure. Instead of seeing it as, game over, the source frames it as essential learning. It's part of the process. You make mistakes, sure, but you learn, you adjust.
So failure isn't the opposite of success.
Exactly. It's presented more like a stepping stone on the way to success. You grow from it. The source even mentions finding some comfort in knowing you're not alone. There's a whole community facing these same uncertainties.
Okay, so mindset shifts are key. Accept uncertainty. Reframe failure. What about practical tools? Does it offer anything concrete?
It does. It pivots pretty hard towards strategic planning.
Strategic planning sounds a bit rigid for such a chaotic environment.
Well, it's described less as a rigid blueprint and more as like setting a clear direction. Defining goals, figuring out the steps, making a flexible action plan.
Okay, that makes sense. What are the key parts of that planning, according to the source?
Two main things, and they're linked. First, defining objectives. And it stresses making them specific, measurable, long-term focused, clarity on what you're actually aiming for.
Not just hoping things work out.
Right. And second crucial point, internal analysis.
Looking inward.
Yeah, a really honest assessment. Your strengths, weaknesses, what resources you actually have, your team skills, where you really stand in the market.
So without that self-awareness, the external goals don't mean much.
Pretty much.
Uh-huh.
The source implies that internal honesty is foundational.
Okay, so let's bring this back to you, the listener. What's the takeaway? Whether you're starting a business, thinking about it, or honestly, just facing any big challenge, understanding this perspective can be, empowering, right? Knowing that feeling of uncertainty is normal, maybe even useful.
Yeah, and that structured thinking, like this strategic planning idea, especially that internal look at your own capabilities, gives you a way to move forward when things feel, all over the place.
Makes sense.
And the source has a final message, too. It emphasizes perseverance. When you feel insecure, when doubt creeps in.
Don't give up.
Exactly. Lean into that challenge uncertainty brings. Use your passion, your determination to push through it.
That's a strong closing thought. So building on that, maybe a final question for you to think about.
Okay.
Consider one area in your own life right now where there's significant uncertainty. Could be anything. Now, how could applying just one principle from that strategic planning idea, maybe setting one clear, measurable goal for it, or doing that honest inventory of your strengths and resources related to it, how might that change your approach?
Interesting. How might that structured thinking shift how you feel or what you do next about that uncertainty?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes just clarifying the internal picture can really light up the path forward.
Very true.
Well, that's our time for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.